Nipsey Hussle was killed, shot dead on a black street, Crenshaw, in a black neighborhood, Inglewood, in front of his black-owned clothing store in the black community by a black man that stood over his body and when he moved, put another bullet in his head to make sure he was dead. Who do we see about that? When do we say enough of black men killing black men? How many have to die before something is done? How many times are you going to hashtag RIP before something is done? When African Americans decide that blacks killing blacks is enough and it's time for blacks to solve that problem, then the problem will get solved. You can't blame other people for the group not resolving internal issues. More black men are killed by black men than blacks are killed by white police officers. But we'll protest in the streets for that. We'll go to war for that. But no one is saying, how do we deal with the black on black crime? What is stopping black entertainers in the movie industry, in the music community, in the political arena, black businessmen, joining forces and going into the communities and talking to these young black men? Why isn't something being done about this? How many times are we going to say, oh, that's sad, let's hashtag RIP? Game and Snoop had the right agenda. Instead of marching to the police station, march into the communities and talk to these young black men who are carrying firearms and shooting for no apparent reason. This can be solved if black athletes, black entertainers, black musicians, politicians, businessmen commit to reaching out in their own communities once a month and doing prevention by, these kids need mentors. They need people to talk to. They need to understand the power of what they do because it's reckless. Take responsibility for the music that we're pumping into their head. Take responsibility for the images that they're seeing in videos. Take responsibility for them not having any leadership and any guidance. And do for them what you're attempting to do with the police. In response to the Dallas shooting of several police officers by a Mika Xavier Johnson, the shooting occurred July 7th, 2016, and it was in response to police brutality. When these officers were killed, it was anticipated that there would be riots all around the country. And that is when the game had the epiphany to subvert it.
We came here today in peace and love to get a nice dialogue with some of these, police officers, the mayor's here. We didn't even know this was going to happen, but it's happening. No, we here to show support for these police officers that's getting, into the field or whatnot, and just trying to get some dialogue with them so that way when they hit the streets, they know that we just like them. We okay, we can communicate.
Hate us, not today.
Hunt us, not today.
Hunt us, not today. Hunt you, not today.
There you go.
Together.
Hey, peace, unity.
Peace, unity.
I'm here for peace and equality. I'm here for the same reasons that people before me came here. I just want a unified front for all races. You know what I'm saying? And the one race, the human race. I want us to reintroduce ourselves to the LAPD, and the LAPD to have an opportunity to look us in our eyes and to reintroduce themselves, to us, so that there's no hatred on either side, and that love is reciprocated from here to New York and back, because America is torn, and I like to put a band-aid.
In 2016, after 5 police officers were shot in Dallas, and anticipated riots were going to break out over the Philando and Alton killings. The Game contacted Snoop, who I think happened to be with Russell at that time, and then Russell got in touch with Minister Farrakhan, or put them in touch with Minister Farrakhan, and they all gathered to march to the police department to protest police brutality. And all of that was great. No more hashtags, no more RIP, no more rest in peace. It's time for action. It's time for black men to start mentoring these young black boys that don't have fathers, that are lost, that are wandering out here with drugs and weapons and being very reckless in how they respond to their emotions. All of these deaths of these rappers should be a calling for every person of color, but specifically the men, because these young boys need men that they look up to. They need the athletes, they need the entertainers, they need the musicians, they need the politicians, the businessmen. All of you get together the same way you did at the Million Man March, the same way you did when you got together after the death of Tupac and Biggie and Minister Farrakhan had a meeting. That needs to be done again, but a mission of every person committing one day a month to mentoring these young black men and setting up programs for them so that they know they are loved, they know how to love their brothers, and they stop hunting each other. It's not enough that you tell whites not to hunt you when blacks are hunting each other. Every single person, it is their responsibility in the community to do something about this. I'm tired of seeing the hashtags. I'm tired of seeing, oh, another one. It's time to do something.
Basically, as us as young black individuals in this community, the police on their side. We saw what's going on in the news. We see what's going on in the world back to back. We have to see eye to eye. We have to understand each other.
Why is there so much hate? Why is there so much kill? Everybody wants to kill each other. Kill, 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 kill.
We're about the love and the peace. We all got families, and we all want to go home, and we want it to be safe out here. And what better way than to get an understanding with the people who we have the misunderstanding with?
My objective was to come down here and meet with the police officers and greet with the police officers, reintroduce ourselves as citizens of Los Angeles to them, and allow them to reintroduce themselves to us.
The Game posted all African American men, Mexican American men, and any other race of real men with heart to stand with us today and walk peacefully to the LAPD headquarters. Leave all women and children at home. This is our mission for them. The Game also asked that it be unified and they no longer allow themselves to be hunted or for them to hunt others. He did ask that this is not about black lives, this is not about brown lives, this is not about blue lives, this is about America. And he asked that you show up with no weapons, don't have weapons, and don't be high.
What happened up to today?
A lot.
It's just meetings, things like that.
Tommy, where do I go in at? To the side, far side.
Hey, look, what's gonna happen after today?
Each one teach one, Snoop. You gotta get on home. You gotta get on home. They ain't gonna leave us alone.
Hey, what are the next steps, man? What are the next steps?
Each one teach one, OG.
Friday, July 8th, Snoop and the Game led a march of over 50 men to the Los Angeles Police Headquarters, and the goal was to remedy this problem. The mission was called Operation Hunt. Hunt Us Not Today. That's what it was called, and it was initiated by Game, who contacted Snoop and said they wanted to unify all the gangs, the Crips, the Bloods, and get these men to march to the headquarters to put an end to the violence, to stop the hunting of black men in California. And this was, fortunately, they went live and aired this all around the country. I believe the Game and Snoop subverted national riots by doing this. So these men are to be commended for.
A conciliatory message emerged at police headquarters today as two tall figures arrived at the demonstration. Snoop Dogg, a rap superstar and producer who in his youth in the early 90s had his own run-ins with the law, and The Game, a rap star and actor who rose to prominence in the past decade. Both artists are activists and poets of their generations, and today they brought a message of peace in a meeting with Mayor Eric Garcetti and Police Chief Charlie Beck. Your thoughts after speaking to the chief today?
Great conversation. It was very necessary that we begin to build dialogue because there's been so much miscommunication from police in the community, and this is the beginning.
My thoughts are that we got a wonderful police chief, and we open the dialogue for positivity on the streets that we share in Los Angeles.
What would you have to say to anybody in Los Angeles who feels like this is a time to resort to violence?
Well, guess what? It's not. And it hasn't happened yet. And we tried to catch it before it came to our city. All of us have a future. These police officers have families. We have families. And we got to show the same love for them that they showing us. And everything, the love has to be reciprocated. And that started today.
Joining their voices, Russell Simmons, the pioneering producer and social activist who helped create hip-hop by co-founding Def Jam Records.
I believe that there's a lot of work we can do to promote police sensitivity training, promote community sensitivity training, and I believe also there are many ways that we can start to build a bridge and save lives.
A bridge to save the lives of the police who work in this city and the people who live here. In downtown Los Angeles, Randy Page, CBS 2 News.
It also captioned, "Do not bring any weapons or anything illegal. Do not come high or belligerent. We don't need any hotheads or anyone there for the wrong reasons. We will stand as we are, unified. I'm calling all gangs, all races, all grown men, affiliated or not, and we will stand unified. Our numbers are all the weapon we need." In 2016, after 5 police officers were shot in Dallas, and anticipated riots were going to break out over the Philando and Alton killings, The Game contacted Snoop, who I think happened to be with Russell at that time, and then Russell got in touch with Minister Farrakhan, or put them in touch with Minister Farrakhan, and they all gathered to march to the police department to protest police brutality. And all of that was great.